I would say we will quickly lose even the social permission to actually take something like energy, which is a scarce resource, and use it to generate these tokens. If these tokens are not improving health outcomes, education outcomes, public sector efficiency, private sector competitiveness across all sectors, small and large, right? And that, to me, is ultimately the goal. So therefore, I think really diffusion is everything. And so the way it happens is, let's sort of unpack this. On the supply side, what needs to happen in each country is the tokens per dollar per watt have to sort of monotonically get more efficient and better, right? So to some degree, even what we are trying to do with the investments the two firms are doing around the world is to just say that, like, let's make sure that the supply is there, which is everything from the chips on down, ultimately to these token factories that get deployed everywhere. By the way, there's not one token factory. This token factory is the first thing that's going to be diffused all around the world. It's just like electricity, right? You just need a ubiquitous grid of energy and tokens that then will power the rest of the economy, right? So that's, I think, one side of it. Then the demand side of this is a little bit like every firm has to start by using it. If I look back even, when the PCs first came out or the personal computing era started, I loved, I think Jobs had a nice metaphor. He called it the bicycle for the mind. Bill had a metaphor, which I remember was like information at your fingertips, right? These two metaphors were great, like which allowed us to say, that's what it is. It's a tool that I will use to get information at my fingertips. I'll use it as a cognitive amplifier. Now, I think that's what we have, but 10x, 100x, right? So in some sense, you, as every knowledge worker, you now have access to infinite minds. That's the way I think about it, right? So there's a Turing Award winner called Raj Reddy who had this nice metaphor of AI, and he had this long before even generative AI. He said either it's a cognitive amplifier or it's a guardian angel, right? So if you think of AI as that, then in the global workforce, right, when a doctor can get to a patient, spend more time with the patient because the AI is doing the transcription and entering the records in the EMR system, entering the right billing code so that the healthcare industry is better served across the payer, the provider, and the patient ultimately. Right? That's an outcome that I think all of us can benefit from. So I feel ultimately it's going to require real leadership on the private sector and the public sector to ensure that diffusion happens. And the other thing I'll mention, Larry, is skilling, right? So in some sense, the thing that diffusion is very strongly correlated.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.